So now that we 100% know which characters will be on which phase of version 5.7, we can finally take a good, honest look at phase 1 and ask the big question: is it really worth tolling for? Or should you skip it entirely and wait for what phase 2 brings instead? Because let's be honest, the hype is real. Skirk's finally debuting after years of teasers and theories, and Shenhe is getting her long-awaited third rerun after over 700 days. But hype isn't everything. In this video, we're breaking it all down: what makes these characters good, what their actual drawbacks are, and whether or not this banner is worth your precious Primogems. Let's start with the headline unit, Skirk. She's easily one of the most anticipated Cryo characters in the entire game, and now that she's here, it's safe to say she doesn't disappoint, at least not on paper. Skirk is a main DPS who deals incredibly high personal damage. She scales very well, has amazing animations, and her combos feel fluid and unique. On top of that, her damage ceiling is genuinely meta-defining. But here's the catch: Skirk is heavily dependent on other high-rarity characters to function at full capacity. She was clearly designed with units like Escoffier and Purina in mind. And let's be honest, at this point, almost every single top-tier team in Genshin requires Purina in some way. If you don't have her, your team options shrink dramatically. But that's not the only issue. Skirk's passive also restricts her to freeze teams. That means you're locked into only running Hydro and Cryo characters. The moment you step outside of that, her damage drops significantly. So yes, she's strong, but only in the right environment. Without the perfect team, she's not quite the universal carry that other characters like Nuvolet or Alhaithon can be. She's amazing, but she's not blessable. Now, let's talk about Shenhe. This is her third rerun, and it's more than 700 days ago. She's a Cryo buffer, and she does one thing extremely well. She gives your Cryo units a ton of extra damage. And the best part? Her buffing is extremely straightforward. She scales only with attack. That makes building her easy. The more attack you give her, the better she performs. But there's a downside, and it's a big one. Shenhe has very high energy requirements. Her burst is an important part of her kit, and if you want to use it every rotation, you'll need to pump a lot of energy recharge into her stats. That limits your substat flexibility, and it also means that in team comps where you can't generate enough particles, she becomes a little clunky. Still, for anyone running Ayaka, Ganyu, or now Skirk, Shenhe is really going to shine. But here's the thing: Shenhe isn't even in Skirk's best in slot team. If you're wondering what that team looks like, it's Skirk, Escoffier, Yelan, and Purina. That's the lineup where her damage absolutely skyrockets. And even if you don't have Yelan, replacing her with Citlali still gives you really solid results thanks to the Cindered City artifact set on Citlali, the Hydro buff for Purina, and the shield value she gives when you're running the free-to-play Sword Calamity of Eshu on Skirk. But the fact that Shenhe, a pure Cryo buffer with some of the highest Cryo support potential in the game, isn't even part of that optimal team setup, that's kind of concerning in my opinion. Don't get me wrong though, she still works very well in Skirk comps and can fill in really nicely if you're missing some of the best characters. But just be aware, pulling her won't automatically mean you're unlocking Skirk's full potential. So what about the 4-star characters? As of now, the only one officially confirmed is Dalian. He's a new Hydro sword user from Mondstadt. Long story short, he can shield and has a really unique bounce pad on his elemental skill, which is both funny and practical. His shield pairs particularly well with Skirk if you're using the free 4-star event Sword Calamity of Eshu. That sword's passive only activates when the wielder is shielded, so Dahlia can make the weapon much more effective for F2P players who don't have Skirk's signature weapon. Yawel is also expected to appear in version 5.7, although we're not entirely sure which phase she'll be in. But for the sake of the analysis, let's include her here. She's a Dendro 4-star polearm user who serves mainly as a healer. Her Dendro application is decent, but nothing crazy. She gets the job done in Hyper Bloom or Burgeon teams, but she's not going to replace characters like Baiju or Nahita in most situations. Most of the time, the Dendro Traveler will be better for Dendro application if you don't have Nahita. She's good to have, but she's not meta-breaking by any means. Now let's talk weapons. Let's start with Skirk's signature weapon, Azurite, because it is absolutely cracked. Not only is it her best in slot, but it's also just a really solid sword in general. It provides a very high amount of attack and a very nice 22.1% crit rate, making it a strong stat stick for a wide range of sword DPS characters. If you happen to pull it while aiming for Skirk, it won't go to waste. Then we have Calamity Queller, Shenhe's signature polearm. This weapon has the highest base attack stat in the entire game, 741. It's literally designed to pump Shenhe's bust even higher, since she scales entirely with attack. What's interesting is that Calamity Queller also works quite well on other off-field units who need a stat stint. For example, if you can manage the energy recharge, it's an excellent weapon for Xiongling. The passive increases attack even more when off-field, which synergizes well with units who have familiar abilities like Xiangling's Pyronata. So what's the verdict? Is Phase 1 of version 5.7 worth it? If you already have Furina and Escoffier, and you're looking for a freeze team main DPS who can hard carry content when properly supported, then yes, Skirk is absolutely worth pulling. She has incredible damage potential, and she's fun to play. But if you're missing key team members, her value drops hard. She's not the kind of unit you can just throw onto any team and expect results. As for Shenhe, she's still one of the best Cryo supports in the game, especially if you're planning to run Ayaka or Skirk long-term. Her rerun has been a long time coming, and it's a great opportunity to finally grab her. Just be prepared to invest in her energy recharge. Dahlia is a nice surprise. As a new 4-star who synergizes well with a free weapon and adds some versatility to Skirk team options, he's a great addition. Yao is just okay, solid healer, but nothing meta-defining. The weapon banner is strong, but not mandatory. Azurite is a massive upgrade for Skirk, and Calamity Queller is a top-tier polearm if you can make use of it. So, overall, Phase 1 is worth it, but only if you're ready to commit. I will also do a video for Phase 2 with Mavwika and Emily, and if they're worth pulling, so make sure to subscribe and check that out when it drops. Let me know in the comments if you're planning to pull for Skirk or Shenhe, or if you're saving for Mavwika and Emily instead. And don't forget to subscribe if you want updates on future banners, theory crafting, and breakdowns like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.